Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So when we keep speaking and hearing about Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, so one thing is very clear that each and every person, every time this transcendental vibration enters the ears, naturally the person gets purified. It's just a matter of time. The only thing that is needed is attentive, submissive hearing, as Prabhupada always says, attentive, submissive hearing. So just by hearing, our heart gets cleansed. And see, we have been hearing this from a long time. Heart gets cleansed, heart gets cleansed. We need to experience that also. When we experience, we'll get more faith, we'll get more confidence. Therefore, Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Instruction that whatever sadhana we do, it should be done with adar, it should be done with respect. So when we do our sadhana, angas of bhakti, with respect, consciously, carefully, offenses will go down. And when the offenses, when aparadha goes down, then naturally we will see that our bhakti shakti will go on increasing. Naturally, the anarthas will go down and our taste for Krishna consciousness will arise. So when it comes to hearing, attentively hearing and contemplating on the subject matter that is spoken is very important. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of our prominent acharyas of Gaudiya Parampara, especially for us, is very, very important. Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They are the three pillars for the entire preaching mission. And obviously all our acharyas, all the previous acharyas also. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gives a very, very wonderful angle, a wonderful perspective to all the demons killed by Krishna in Krishna Lila. Because hearing pastime is very nice. Krishna killed this demon, Krishna killed that demon. That's very nice. But then what actually that means for a sadhaka, Bhaktivinoda Thakur presents it very nicely. To begin with our pastime for today, let's discuss about two personalities who are very, very rich, sons of Kuvera. I can imagine anyone in this world who is very rich, how their kids will be. Born with silver spoon, no tension. All life is settled. Everything is set. And only thing they have to do is sense gratification. So if that is the case in the material world, you think about Kuvera's son. So it is described that Kuvera, whenever Devatas want some money, they will go to Kuvera and take it. He's a treasurer. Filthy rich. Very, very rich. His sons. Two. Nalakuver and Manigrave. And then along with that, not just Kuvera's sons, they with time became associates of Lord Shiva. Now Lord Shiva is so powerful. So now imagine, two things they have. They have money and they have power. It is described that if you really want to test the character of a person, give the person the money and power and see what the person does. Because when you don't have money and power, then what character will be there? I mean, it will be normal only. But actually when you get money and power, at that time, the real test of the character of the person will be seen. So here, these two persons, Nalakuver and Manigiri with money and power, only sense gratification. Only sense gratification. They were very beautiful personalities, very handsome looking. And they had a lot of money, they had power. But they would not enjoy here, on this earthly planet. They would enjoy in higher planets. And specifically, they chose Lord Shiva's abode, Kailash. And what was their enjoyment? They would drink not the third class alcohol of this world. They would drink the alcohol of that world. See, alcohol of this world has a problem. So why people drink alcohol? No, I don't have experience, but then I heard that there's some kick which people get. So kick is there, but along with that, our health is also kicked in the material world. It deteriorates, health goes down. But when it comes to this Swargalok, the alcohol that they have, I shouldn't say alcohol, it's a kind of drink. It's much, much higher than the alcohol here in this material world. That's called Varuni. And when that is drunk, obviously the person gets that same pleasure or much, much higher pleasure than what a person will get in this material world. And along with that, the health also enhances. How's that? अब इसको पीने के लिए लेकिन जाना होगा स्वर्ग. उसके लिए बहुत मेहनत लगता है. It's not easy. So these two personalities, they would drink Varuni all the time intoxicated. Eyes rolling. You can imagine any drunkard of this material world. Eyes rolling. And specifically they did one thing, which was not proper. Anta pravishya gangaya ambhoja vanarajini chikridatur yuvatibhir gaja iva karenubhi. So what they did is, Anta pravishya gangayam, they entered Ganga. And in the Swargalok, Ganga is called as Mandakini. So they entered Ganga. And where were they? In Kailash. They entered Ganga. And how was the entire place? Very, very beautiful. Ambhojavana Rajini. The entire river was filled with beautiful lotus flowers. Looking very beautiful. And what did these two people do? They got inside. Not just two of them. They got some young girls also with them. And there they were enjoying. Now see, Shukadeva Goswami, when he is describing, he gives a comparison to understand how they were enjoying. They were enjoying like Gaja. Gaja means elephant. Now elephant, he elephant and she elephant, when they enter the water body. So the he elephant, he sucks in the water with his trunk and then he sprays it or throws it or gives nice bath to his, I don't know if I can call wife, but she elephant. And that's how they enjoy. Nice playful time the elephants would have. Similar was the case with these two. They are looking like two elephants enjoying with she elephants. Okay? So what else they did there? The first offense is they were intoxicated, that too in Kailas. Second offense is, it's not just intoxication externally, there was intoxication internally also. In shloka number 7, it is described. Tau drishtva madhira matto shri madandho suratmajo. So internal intoxication and there was external intoxication. External intoxication, they drank Varuni. And internal intoxication looks like it was by birth because of the wealth that they had. Which one is more dangerous, external or internal? Everyone says unanimously internal. See, external intoxication can remain for few hours. But this internal intoxication, which blinds the person, remains for the entire lifetime. And here they had both. Look at the deadly situation. And with that mood, with that pride, internal pride and external madness, they have entered Ganga. And how did they enter? Without clothes. Naked. Now it's a very important note. According to Shastra, it's very clearly given that one shouldn't take bath naked. So men should cover the lower part of the body. And similarly, other gender also. So it's very important to understand, according to even Mahabharata it is given, and other Puranas also it is given. Naked bath is restricted. And what to talk about taking bath naked in Ganga? Such a great offense. There are some repercussions also when someone takes bath naked. So at least they should have worn some undergarment. Max to max at least. But no, fully naked. Abhi ye akele nahi the. Along with them, they were young girls. And how were they? They were also naked. So young girls were fully naked and these two young boys, they were also naked and they're having nice playful time in Mandakini. Many times it happens that we also go for yatras. And some tirtha, some pond or some river. In the class, devotees hear that we should be very respectful, pay obeisance, enter. Yes. So before entering, we are all divine. So you pay obeisance, pray, enter. Andar jate, there's some other demon that comes in. It so happened that when Prabhupada got his Western disciples for the first time to India, they were in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada took them for parikrama of Radhakund. And many of them, they all removed their clothes and jumped inside the Radhakund. And they started swimming, playing. And Prabhupada chastised them. Radhakund is the topmost place in the entire creation. And what is this nonsense you are doing? So from that time onwards, Prabhupada said that no taking bath in Radhakund. Therefore, in ISKCON, we don't get into Radhakund and take bath. We sprinkle water. Because there's some maryada when it comes to taking bath in various holy places. There's a maryada when taking bath in the bathroom also. Yes. So here we see that there is maryada vyatikram. That is violation of a very, very important injunction of Shastra. That is not taking bath naked. And they were playing with those ladies. Now what happened is, these two personalities, along with the ladies, they saw a sage coming. And this sage is not a normal sage. He is a great personality. He is Nārada Muni himself. So Nārada Muni, he came there, and we understand that all the ladies who were there, they immediately covered their bodies with their clothes. Because they were very, very fearful. He's a very powerful sage. Anytime he can curse us. Previously, sages had the power to curse. And once they curse, gone. But then when it comes to Nalakur and Manigriv, they were thinking, why this sage has to come here? Is it a place where sages have to come? And without any respect, they just stood naked in front of Nārada Muni. Look at the pathetic situation. And you know why? Not just because of external intoxication. This was because of the internal intoxication. Therefore, the behavior of Nalakuver and Manigriv, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, it represents the anartha of pride and arrogance arising from one's own wealth. So as soon as a person has wealth, eyes are blinded, and naturally the person cannot respect one's own superiors. He starts thinking, why I should respect? I'm great. I was preaching to one of my friends who was very rich. So I was telling him that it's very important to chant Hare Krishna. We have to surrender onto the lotus feet of the Lord. Make bhakti as our first priority. He told me, see, as of now I don't want Krishna. When I'll need, I'll get back to him. Bahut paisa hai. The person has a lot of money, well settled, no tension. Therefore, material stability and too much of luxury is a problem when it comes to practicing devotional service. And look at what happened with these people. They didn't pay obeisance. They didn't receive the sage with great respect. In fact, they had offensive mentality of why this person has to come here. He does not know that we're having private time here. Private time in Ganga. Now, Nārada Muni is also another level personality. So Nārada Muni decided. And what he did? Tayor anugraha hartaya shapam dasyan idan jagau. So he decided, just to show them mercy, I will curse them. That's a very nice point to note. Tell me, was Nārada Muni offended because they didn't respect him? Sure? Okay. Why he cursed? Huh? Okay, they polluted the holy place, by their nasty activities. And why Nārada Muni has to curse? To deliver them. See, preachers, they have their own techniques of helping people. And here Nārada Muni wanted to extend his help. And what was that help? Cursing them. Now, one point that has to be understood very clearly is, Nārada Muni is not offended because they are not respecting and things like that. It doesn't matter for Nārada Muni. Those devotees who are completely satisfied within, in service of the Lord, they don't need all these external things. They don't need followers, they don't need money, they don't need opposite gender. They're happy. They're so happy that all the time they're going around distributing that happiness. And Nārada Muni is one such personality. And when he saw them, he became compassionate. Arey, inka kya hoga? What will happen? What will happen to these people? These people will go directly from heavenly planet to Nāraka. Something should be done. Something should be done with them. And Nārada Muni decided that best thing is curse. And Nārada Muni started giving pravachan. To whom? Nalukure Mani are not hearing only. They were intoxicated and they were pretty far. They were not near. That's how is the description. For all the hearers of Bhagavatam class. For us, he spoke for us. And he started speaking some very, very valuable instructions for all of us. In first canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Kunti Maharani is saying that there are 4 disqualifications for practicing bhakti. Please repeat. Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edamana Madhapuman Naivarhartya Vidatum Vai Tvamakinchana Gocharam. 4 disqualifications Kunti Maharani is saying. First one she says, Janma, high birth. So when someone takes birth in a very aristocratic family, they have their own pride. I belong to this family, that family. Previously people had a lot. I belong to this Brahmana family. In Brahmana also I am top. Yes, something like that. Janma, Aishwarya, wealth. So wealth is another obstacle on the path of bhakti, Kunti Maharani is saying. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta. Shruta means education. Highly educated. Yes. Which education are we talking about? Material, B.Tech, M.Tech. Yes. Yes, that is there. And along with that, when someone knows a lot of Shastra also, they might have, pride. But here mostly it's talking about, the material side. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta. Shri means beauty. When someone is very beautiful, naturally, that acts as an obstacle. In all the 3 cases, tell me what is a common thing that takes place in a person? Why it's an obstacle? Pride. Pride is the biggest obstacle. And you know what? Krishna does not like pride. He does not like pride. Just imagine, in the middle of the night, in a very, very beautiful forest of Sri Vrindavan Dham, where the entire setup is so beautiful, very, very fragrant flowers, and all the trees are so colorful. There's a full moon. The entire setup is very, very beautiful. And in that, Krishna is having his beautiful Rasa Leela dance with all the lakhs of gopis. Now, Krishna has the power to expand himself and be with each and every gopi. Technically, that's called as Swayam Prakash forms, where he personally manifests with every single gopi. Now, what happened is, the gopis are also dancing with Krishna. So, every gopi started feeling that Krishna is only with me. Krishna is only with me. How much he likes me. The tinge of pride came. So Krishna left all of them in the middle of the night and he went. Now sometimes people say, oh, your Krishna is a woman mongler. He dances with so many gopis and he has romance with so many gopis. He's behind ladies. If that was the case, why he'll leave like this and go? Krishna is Atmaram. If devotees are Atmaram, they're so satisfied, why Krishna would need any second person to satisfy himself? Completely satisfied. But just to reciprocate with these gopis, the great devotees of Vrindavan, he agreed, to have a nice dance with them on the beautiful full moon night. And then after that, Krishna went with Srimati Radharani. And then it is described that Srimati Radharani also felt, he left all of them only for me. And Krishna left her also. Now sochiye, ye kitne bade devotees hain. Brajvasis, that too gopis are such great devotees. And just because of the tinge of pride, Krishna left them. He disappeared. And that's how the beautiful Gopi Geet manifested. All of them, they started praying to the Lord in separation. And that's how Krishna manifested. So if Krishna can give up the topmost devotees, Arey, hum kaun hai fir? Just imagine, what are we in front of them? And to become proud, we don't have anything as such, actually speaking. But still, even a pauper is proud of his penny. That's what is our category. And we understand very clearly that Krishna is not attracted, or he does not be with that person who is very proud. But at the same time, we have the example which are very contrast. Krishna is very much happy to be with those who are extremely humble. Give me some examples. Sudama is so poor, but he was so humble. Okay, Amrish Maharaj, he was humble. Prahlad Maharaj was humble, small boy. So all these great devotees you see, they were all humble. So this one quality that is there, which is very common, which all of them is humility. And it is said that Dainyata attracts the mercy of the Lord. It's very difficult to become humble, you see, in this world. Very difficult. Small things, it's easy to become very proud. Very difficult to become humble. And here we understand very clearly from Kunti Maharani's prayer that these 4 things can make a person very proud. And because of this, we cannot call out to the Lord from the heart. That's the problem which Prabhupada highlights in that purport. He says that person who is proud, that person cannot call out to Krishna in a quality way, Prabhupada says. Quality name cannot be uttered from the mouth of a proud person. Helplessly one cannot call out to Krishna. But now comes the question, ये चारों में से सबसे deadly कौन सा है? We said Janma, high birth, Aishwarya, wealth, Janma Aishwarya Shruta, high education, Shri, beauty. So now question comes, what is the most dangerous of all these 4? Nārada Muni said, wealth. Nārada Muni says, out of all the 4, wealth is the most deadliest one. Most deadliest one. Because as soon as the person has wealth, he becomes falsely puffed up. And then he starts enjoying and starts breaking the 4 regulative principles. And specifically, 10.10.8. In the 8th shloka, he says that one engages his wealth in what? Enjoying wine, woman, and gambling. So, 3 pillars are broken already. Regulative principles of sinful, or I should say, the pillars of sinful life. Meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication. And already, illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, because of too much of wealth. And along with that, we understand, because the 4th one is remaining, no, still. That is meat eating. Even that comes into picture as soon as there is high wealth. And Nārada Muni says, 9th shloka, Hanyate pashavo yatra nirdaye rajitatmabhihi manyamaner imam deham ajara mrityu nashwaram. So these people who have got a lot of wealth, Nārada Muni is saying, what they do? They're falsely proud of their riches. They want to maintain their perishable bodies. Very nicely he's putting this forward. Not just bodies, perishable bodies. Very soon the bodies are going to get destroyed. And how do they try to maintain them? By killing poor animals. Without thinking twice that by killing the animals and eating them, killing the animals either for eating or for pleasure hunting, either of it, they're going to suffer like anything in the hellish planets. And actually it's a fact. That meat eating is a sinful act and person has to suffer for it. I mean, some people might say, no, I don't believe in this. Okay, you believe, you don't believe, it doesn't matter. When Yamadutas come in, then you'll believe. Yes. And in general, all those people who have roots in the Vedic culture, they naturally have it in the blood. All these etiquettes are there in the blood. Therefore, you will see that at least in India, we find the people who have some background of Vedic culture, they have this, I don't eat meat on Tuesday or Saturday. Yes. And Sunday, they don't want to touch Bhagavad Gita also when you do book distribution. Yes. We don't go to temple on that day. Now tell me, why they don't want to touch Bhagavad Gita? Why they don't want to go to temple? Why? They know they are contaminated. Even when I, in a saffron clothes, I'm convincing, अरे कुछ नहीं होगा, लो. नहीं, हाथ नहीं लगा सकते. मम्मी ने कहा हाथ नहीं लगाना. So it is known, for everyone in India who have Vedic roots, they know it very well that one shouldn't. Therefore, you will see black poly bags are used to carry. Yes. And then you will not see parents taking their kids to slaughterhouses. And I don't know if anyone does this. In the auspicious festivals like Deepavali, Holi, someone cooking meat, a hardcore non-vegetarian also for that matter. Yes. So it's there. In India, it's there in blood. But kya kare? Because of Western influence, now people are getting deteriorated day by day. And that's what here Nārada Muni is saying. Because of wealth, first the person gets into wine, woman, gambling, and naturally it comes to maintain himself by killing others. And he goes on. And he says, then, Deva Sangnitam Apyante Krimi Vid Bhasma Sangitam Bhuta Druk Tat Krite Swartham Kim Veda Nirayo Yatha. See, someone might think, Deva, I'm a very, very great person. Prabhupada translates this as very big man, minister, president, or even demigod. Whatever it is, after death, what is going to happen to his body? Because finally his body is getting the designation, that he's prime minister, president, or a very big man, rich man, etc. So after death, what is going to happen to these bodies, which are maintained by doing the sinful activities? And three things he says: krimi, vid, bhasma. Now, according to the Sanatana Dharma, so bodies are burnt. So what happens? Bhasma, ashes. So it gets converted to ashes. In some other faiths, people just throw the body and the body decomposes and worms are formed, krimi. And some, they just throw it in some place where carnivorous animals or eagles can eat. Yes. And that gets converted into what? The body gets converted into stool of that animal. So only three destinations are there. Option A, B, C. And all of these. Yes. Krimi, vid, and bhasma. So Nārada Muni's point is that this is what is going to happen. But people don't know that this is what is going to happen. They know it, but they're in illusion. And therefore, unfortunately, they keep living their life in a very, very abominable, sinful way. And finally, what's going to happen is, when they give up this body, destination of the body is decided. Three destinations. Krimi, vid, bhasma. But when it comes to destination of soul, the person is going to suffer in hellish planets. And Nārada Muni continues. So Nārada Muni's point is, okay, you're having wealth and you are so proud and you're maintaining the body at the cost of killing others and giving suffering to others. For what? It's very temporary. And then he's asking, body belongs to whom? This is the question Nārada Muni is asking. Whom does the body belongs to? And then he says, 11. Deha kim annadhatu swam Nishektur maturevacha Matu pitur valinah Kretur agnehe shunopiva. So now you all have to tell me. I'll just translate what Nārada Muni is saying. So Nārada Muni is saying, Deha, kim? Whom does this Deha belong to? Does it belong to Annadhatu? And Prabhupada translates this as employer. That person who is giving a salary. So does this body belong to that person? At least in Bangalore, people will say yes, 9 to 6. Not before and after, 9 to 6. So does it belong to him? Then he gives second option, swam. Oh, okay, does it belong to himself? Does it belong to spirit soul? If it belongs to the spirit soul, it will take with him, no? But the spirit soul, okay, another question. Spirit soul leaves the body or body leaves the spirit soul? That is in the case of pure devotees. Yeah, correct. Obviously, all of you are. So in the case of pure devotees, they want to leave the body. Because for them, they want to go to Krishna, continue the service. But for a materialist, the body leaves the spirit soul. Spirit soul does not want to leave the body. So what is the pain at the time of death? Why Garuda Puran says the pain at the time of death is 100 scorpions biting at one time. Why? Because the pain that is there is not some physical pain. It's a subtle pain on a subtle platform where the spirit soul is catching the body. Nahi chodna hai. And the Yamadutas are pulling him. Nahi chodna padega. So that tug of war that is there, that is the pain. That is the pain. So therefore, based on the person, we can have option A, option B. Who leaves whom? The body leaves spirit soul or spirit soul leaves the body? So in either of the case, body does not belong to spirit soul. That's the conclusion. Yes. Second, Nishektur Matur Evache. Does it belong to that person? No, who has... I'll just put it in simple terms. Does it belong to father? Does it belong to mother? No. Oh, you're so loud. Yeah. No. That's correct. Yes. It does not belong to father. It does not belong to mother. And with time, parents anyways understand. Yes. As the kids grow up. And then it is said that does it belong to Matu Pitur? Matu Pitur means mother's father.
No.
But why this mother's father is told? Specifically, any idea? So in the past, there was a way in which, say, mother's father, so he does not have any son. So there is an agreement that is there, with the daughter, that once you give birth to a son, I will adopt him. So that is called as Matu Pitur. There specifically here it is mentioned. Because Mata Pita kehte, it's understood, it doesn't go up anyways. But specifically it is mentioned here. Then it is said, Balinaha, that person who takes someone by force, does belong to him. And then said, Kretur, Agnihi, Shuno, Kretur, that person who purchases a slave. There are some places where this is done. The person is purchased. So if the person is purchased, does it belong to the owner? And then Agni, does it belong to Agni? Because the body is put in Agni. So the question is, okay, you're giving it to Agni, so does it belong to Agni? Yes. And then here, finally, Shunah. You know Shunah? Means dog or vultures that they want to eat. Does it belong to them? So whom does it belong to? And here is the answer in shloka number 12. Evam sadharanam deham avyakta prabhavapyayam ko vidvan atmasat kritva hanti jantun rite satah. So as all of us know, this body is not permanent. That's how, that was the first session in ISKCON. This body is not permanent. And we are not the body or spirit soul. So this body manifests and unmanifests. So we leave this body, we get another body. We leave that body, we get another body. So body manifests, unmanifests. Now in any case, what were the three destinations of the body? Bhasma, Krimi and Vit. So these were the three destinations. In either of the three, in either of the case, what will happen is, all the elements of this body, what are the elements of this body? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, will mix with earth, water, fire, air, ether. So the question comes, bhai, kiska hai fir? It belongs to God. Yes. But God has given it to us in this world. So it belongs to whom now? Us. And therefore, Nārada Muni is saying, it's a common property. Look at the analysis. He analyzes. He says, anyways, when the body is burnt or eaten by vultures or dogs, or it is decomposed into worms. In either of the three cases, it just merges with earth, water, fire, air, ether, and that is anyways used by everyone, so it belongs to everyone. So this body is a common property, Nārada Muni is saying. And then he gives a solution. Because all this started from where? All this discussion started from pride. Because of wealth. Yes. It all started from there. So now Narad Muni is giving a solution. A little heavy solution. Bhagavatam itself is heavy. So let's hear what it is. 13-14. Asatah Srimadandhasya Daridryam Paramanjanam Atmaupamyena Bhutani Daridraha Paramikshate. So now he is saying Asatah Srimadandhasya. For those fools, atheistic fools, who are Mada Andha because of Shri, because of wealth, who have got intoxicated, blinded. For them, the solution is Anjan. You know Anjan? Yes, Mata is like Kajal. Yes, correct. Kajal. Yes. So Anjan, that ointment that is applied in the eyes. So here, Narad Muni is saying Anjan. But which brand? Mataji? Which brand? And here, Narad Muni is giving a new brand. He says, Daridryam Paramanjanam. The brand called Daridrata. So Narad Muni is saying that if someone's eyes are anointed with Daridrata, that is, if a person meets poverty, is poverty stricken, that is the right solution. How's the solution? Now, Narad Muni says, why? Why is it that when a person becomes poor, that is a solution for pride? And he continues. Now he gives an analogy. Yatha kantaka vidhango jantor nechati tam yatham jiva samyam gato lingair na tatha vida kantakaha. Here the analogy is kantaka. Kantak means kata. Or you can say pin. So that person who is pricked by pin can understand the pain of pin pricking. As simple as that. So that person who has been pricked by poverty, that person will understand what is the suffering the other person goes through when the person is in poverty. Something I was telling to one devotee, we had back-to-back services, some back-to-back festivals or something, and then I was telling, Prabhu, please come for that program also if possible. He said, Prabhu, I am a grahastha, Prabhu. You will not understand. So the point is that, when we have experience, and another devotee was telling, again, there were some programs, and then I said, why don't you join us for this program? Oh, my kids' exams are there. Then I said, so you will not understand, Prabhu. Another devotee was telling, we pray that you never get to understand. But on a serious note, you see, only when we have experience, then we can understand what the other person is going through. But a person who is very wealthy, and just by exploiting others when he gets pleasure, through whatever ways, he will not understand what they are going through unless and until he goes through that particular situation. And this is what Narad Muni is saying. And therefore, Narad Muni, he establishes a point. Poverty is good. This only sadhu like Narad Muni can do. Poverty is good. Why poverty is good? He says, I'll just read the translation. A poverty-stricken man must automatically undergo austerities and penances because he does not have the will to possess anything. Thus his false prestige is vanquished. Abhi hai hi nahi kuch to what pride will come? Therefore sometimes they said that after having everything when you're humble, we appreciate. When you don't have anything, you must be humble. That's important. Thus this false prestige is vanquished. Always in need of food, shelter and clothing, he must be satisfied with what is obtained by the mercy of providence. अब उनका कुछ ठिकाना नहीं होता है. Imagine the beggars on the street. Very difficult. For me at least, sometimes when I comprehend about beggars, whenever I'm going to some different centers on the way, over road or whatever, when I find them on the footpath. So I just wonder, how are they living their life? They struggle for one meal. That's the struggle that they go through. Or kapda jo mila wo, whatever is thrown, or whatever is the old clothes. People come to collect old clothes and this and that. Very difficult. Think about them. Undergoing such compulsory austerities is good for him because this purifies him and completely frees him from false ego. Now see, when the person has got whatever karmic reactions, and when the person goes through suffering, he gets purified of that karmic reactions. So whatever suffering we also go through, we are also getting purified with all those sinful karmic reactions. And here specifically it is told for the ones who are poverty-stricken. Always hungry, longing for sufficient food. A poverty-stricken man gradually becomes weaker and weaker. अभी जो बहुत weak है वो क्या ही करेगा? बोलिए, what will he do? And natural humility will come. At least we had observed when I was back in Mumbai. So the beggars will come, to beg in the entire bogie, one end to another. Even if the seats are empty, they'll not sit on the seat, they'll sit down. And naturally, they feel that, no, I don't deserve this. I'm talking about humble beggars, by the way. The ones who actually feel, from within. Our Nārada Muni is saying, having no extra potency, senses are automatically pacified. Abhi kha nahi raha hai, kuch nahi, senses automatically. I'm sure all of you will have experience of Nirjala Ekadashi. Yes. Entire day Nirjal. So naturally the entire body becomes weak. And where's the question of sense gratification? A poverty-stricken man therefore is unable to perform harmful envious activities. In other words, such a man automatically gains the results of austerities and penances adopted voluntarily by saintly persons. I was very astonished to read this, that person will get pious credits of doing austerities and penance which are done by great sages. So by all this, what is Nārada Muni trying to tell? He is not telling us become poor. Is it so? One point which is driven very nicely, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur highlights this. So the antidote for pride and arrogance is simple living and high thinking. You might have a lot of wealth, but how does that really matter? Is that high wealth that is there, if it is used for higher purpose, and the life is maintained simple, understanding what is the destination of this body, and what is the destination of the person, the spirit soul, committing sinful activities, naturally the person with simple living and high thinking will attain a higher destination. So there's no problem with wealth. But how that wealth is utilized, that is very, very important. Yes. So now Janmashtami is coming. So all of you can help those wealthy people to engage their wealth in service of Krishna. Yes. It's a very important service, by the way. It's not just going around and begging. Obviously, you have to beg for the Lord. You have to go around and beg for the Lord on behalf of Guru and Krishna. That is there. But along with that, the person who might never become a devotee due to whatever reasons, basically because of pride, at least if they give some financial assistance to the propagation of Krishna consciousness, some hope is there for them. Some hope to advance in bhakti. Therefore, devotees go door to door. They go to different places, different shops, just so that people get an opportunity to get some spiritual credits to advance in bhakti, or to begin spiritual life, I should say. Because for some people, they have not begun their spiritual life. It's a very, very great opportunity, by the way, to help people get connected to Krishna. Which life they'll become devotees, we don't know. But our job is this. Because for sure, Krishna does not need their money. Do Krishna need their money? Automatically things happen. If he wants, he can convert any place into a temple. And through Prabhupada, how many places did Krishna convert in the Western world into a temple? So many mansions were converted, so many churches were converted into temples, yes, at that time. So whatever he needs, it will happen. But the point is, our duty as sadhakas, as preachers, is to help people to get connected to Krishna in some or the other way. And here we understand very clearly, the principle is there's no problem with wealth, but how it is utilized, that is what is the problem. And therefore, the antidote Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives is simple living and high thinking. Another very, a negative thing about having wealth and pride because of that is, Daridrasya iva yunjante Sadhavah Samadarshinaha Sadbhi Srinoti Tam Tarsham Tata Arad Vishuddhyati. So now say a saintly person wants to meet. I'll give two options. You tell me which one is easy. Meeting a very rich, filthy rich person, or meeting a poverty-stricken person. Simple. To meet a very rich person, the saintly person has to take an appointment. And he'll say, I'm not available this month. I'm going for this trip and that trip or whatever. And never meet. So tell me, which person can receive the mercy of a sadhu easily? Poverty-stricken person. Simple. So which person can actually come back to God easily? Poverty-stricken person. You see? Therefore, Nārada Muni very logically is establishing. He is not playing with sentiments. Logically is establishing. Batao, kaun milega sadhu se? And he is establishing it very clearly that Daridrasyaiva yunjante sadhava samadarshinaha. So saintly people, they are samadarshina. They are ready to meet anyone. But easy meeting happens with those who are poverty-stricken. And therefore he says, a poverty-stricken man by association with saintly persons very soon becomes uninterested in material desires, and the dirty things within the core of his heart are cleansed away. Because a poverty-stricken person will be searching for solutions. He'll go to some sadhu. Bataiye kya kar sakte hai? I want to get out of this problem. Please help me. Give me a solution. And sadhu tells, chant Hare Krishna. कितने बार करना है? जितने बार भी कर सकते हैं. आप लोग कितने बार करते हैं? 16 बार. Okay, I'll do. There are times when people are going through some tough phase, be it monetary or whatever issues. I have seen immediately pick up. They immediately pick up, chanting 16 rounds. So in this way we see that how a saintly person is, or I should say saintly person is easily able to access those who are poverty stricken. And we can also put it as those who are very simple and not proud. Yes. And what is the speciality of the sadhus? Saintly persons think of Krishna 24 hours a day. They have no other interest. Why should people neglect the association of such exalted spiritual personalities and try to associate with materialists, taking shelter of non-devotees, most of whom are proud and rich? So those who are 24/7 Krishna conscious, if you don't associate with them, whom are we going to associate with? Because of this pride. Pride born out of wealth. So finally, after speaking all this for all of us, now Nārada Muni, he is saying this. 19. Tad aham matayor madhya varunya shrimadandhayoho tamo madam harishyami srenayo rajitatmanoho. Now Nārada Muni is deciding. Nārada Muni is getting ready to do the action. Nārada Muni is saying that tam aham matayor madhya varunya shri madandhayoho. These two people were blinded by celestial opulence and have become attached to the woman. I shall relieve them from false prestige. I'll do the needful. And specific, and also along with that, what they have drunk? Madhavi or Varuni. They have drunk. So therefore, here is what I'll do for them. Athortah sthavaratām syatam naivam yatha punah smriti syan mat prasadena tatrapi mad anugraha. He's saying Ataha Arthaha Sthāvaratam. Oh, these people, they are naked like tree. Therefore, they are eligible to receive the bodies of trees. I'm just thinking that with time, the entire world will be filled with trees then. Trees with little more design on the body. See, people don't understand in general that bodies are not supposed to be exposed. Bodies are supposed to be hidden. It should be covered, both men and women. Yes. And when bodies are exposed like this, so we are getting trained. We're getting trained to the exposure of all the climates. And we're ready to stand as a tree. So when we're training ourselves for something, so material nature also says, Tathastu. And see, every single activity of ours is designing our next body. This is very clear. This is how the entire cycle of karma works. With every activity of ours, we are designing our next body. We are the fashion designers for the next body. We design the bodies the way we want. And as soon as people are naked, this is what comes into picture. That is, the person will get a body of trees. And here he's saying, will become trees. अरे ये तो कर से proper कर से mercy कैसा है ये? Because you have human form, and if you get tree, it means you have degraded. Because human form is topmost form. To realize the ultimate truth. From there, you're pulling down to become tree. Oh, Nārada, what are you doing? You're actually very angry, looks like. But then he says that even after becoming trees, tatrapi mad anugrahat, smriti syan mat prasadena tatrapi mad anugrahat. But by my mercy, they'll remember all the sinful activities that they have done, even in the tree body. How's that? Sometimes it will be helpful, no? If you remember all our past lives, then we'll be very, very serious in bhakti. Arey baap re, ye sab kiya tha maine. Naturally, humility will also come. Just imagine in past life if you have murdered someone, or you have stolen something, or you've done some nasty activities. And in this life, we're hearing so many classes, we naturally feel humble. So sinful. Because from Bhagavatam, having Shastriya Shraddha. For those who have Shastriya Shraddha, for them it's very easy, they understand. The fact that I have taken birth in Kali Yuga means I was sinful in the past. But for those who don't have Shastriya Shraddha, if such vision is given, what were you in past life, that will help the person a lot. And here Nārada Muni is saying, by my anugraha, by my mercy, the person, both of them, will remember their past. But Nārada, still it's not actual mercy. They've degraded from human form to the tree form. And tree is somewhat a very lower species, by the way. It doesn't move. Consciousness is low level. Animals are a little higher, and human beings are the top. Yes. Then he says, Vasudevasya sanidhyam labdva divya sharakshate vritte swarlokatam bhuyo labdha bhakti bhavishyatah. Nārada Muni cursed, you become tree. Both of you become trees. But then he didn't tell the destination before. Where? Which place? And now he's telling that by my special favor, what will happen? Vasudevasya sanidhyam labdva divya sharat shate. So you, both of you, will become trees. But for after 100 years, by the measurement of demigod, that's celestial years, you will get direct audience of Lord Shri Krishna face to face. Isko kehte hai mercy. It makes sense to become trees if you want to get this for sure. And 100 lifetimes, 100 celestial lifetimes is not that great. हम लोग तो इतना जन्म बिताए इस दुनिया में. 100 more, what is the problem? But there's a guarantee now. There's a guarantee. Can you imagine? Nārada Muni's curse is, you become trees and you will get darshan of Vasudeva, son of Vasudev. Vasudev is Nanda Maharaj also. Yes, Nanda Maharaj, another name is Vasudev. In Vasudev's or in Nanda Maharaj's courtyard, you'll become trees. Iska matlab, becoming tree in Rajabhumi. And do we understand what it means to become a tree in Rajabhumi? It's a very, very big thing. Great sages, they do tapasya for many, many, many lifetimes just to become a tree in Vrindavan, in Rajabhumi. Madhvendra Puri himself, I was hearing in one class that he is Kalpa Vriksha in Goloka Dham. To become tree in Dham is a big thing, very, very big thing. Therefore, we see that when devotees go to Vrindavan, At least while doing parikrama, I have seen that they touch the trees, they hug the trees, and they pray. You're so fortunate. I am not. There was one devotee who had taken a vow that I'll never leave Vrindavan. And he became such a famous sadhu that the king got to know. And the king said, get him. And he tried his best not to go. But finally, when the order was very heavy, he had to leave. He went, he hugged all the trees there. And he started saying, you people are so fortunate. You know why trees are very fortunate? They never leave Vrindavan. Kuch bhi ho jaye, wo to ghum nahi sakte. Yes, they'll always stay in Vrindavan. They've taken birth in Vrindavan, they'll die in Vrindavan. Oh, that's a glorious position, glorious position. Therefore, becoming tree in Vrindavan, in Vrajabhumi is not ordinary. And look at these two. What did they do to become trees in Vrindavan? They were having playtime in Ganga naked with girls. And they got this great opportunity. By the way, Nārada Muni's intervention was very important. If we also try doing that, and if Nārada Muni doesn't come, I don't know what will be the destination. They become trees. Abhi Vrajabhumi to fir bhi theek hai, chalo Vrajabhumi. Now there is specific place, not in Vrajabhumi, it was in courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. Abhi iska matlab samjhiye aap log. When Krishna was crawling, and he has to be in the courtyard itself, he cannot go around. When he was playing hide and seek in the house, so he would go, run around those trees. He would hide behind the trees. He'll touch those trees. Can you imagine the situation? Oh, all glory. This is called as kripa of a sadhu. Externally, it might be seemingly a curse. Shrap de diya. Manushya yoni se vriksh yoni. From human being to tree. But then it's worth becoming a tree in Vrajabhumi, and on to that becoming a tree in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, where Krishna is going to go around, play, touch, climb. Oh, what else is needed? So in this way, these two became trees in Vrindavan. So now when they two became trees, for a long time Krishna had a wonderful play and all that. But one day, Krishna couldn't do anything. He had to look at these trees. And that was the day, special day of Deepavali. On the day of Deepavali, Mother Yashoda was binding Krishna. It started in Brahma Murta and finally she was successful in the evening. And looks like therefore we burst crackers in the evening. Mother Yashoda successful. On a serious note, Mother Yashoda tied him and she went inside the kitchen. At this point of time, obviously Krishna was there and he was seeing the trees many times in the entire day. But today specifically Krishna, in that bound state, he looking at the trees. And he remembered. Whom he remembered? Not Nala Kuver Manigriv. He remembered Nārada Muni. And see what he did. Rishir Bhagavata Mukhyasya Satyam Kartum Vacho Harihi Jagama Shanakaistatra Yatrastham Yamal Arjunau. So Lord Krishna, to fulfill or to make the words of his pure devotee Satya, what he did a very wonderful act. Satyam vidhathum nijabhritya bhashitam vyaptim cha bhutesha akhilesh chatmanah adrishyatam adbhutarupam udvahan stambhe sabhayam na mrigam na manusham. It is described just to prove the words of his devotee true. Satya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He broke open the pillar and appeared as Narsimhadev. Whose words true? Only Prahlad? Prahlad along with that Brahma also. Because Brahma gave the benedictions, no? So Lord had to come in such a wonderful, ferocious form. So when it comes to pure devotees, when they say something, Lord tries his best to fulfill that. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada has also told all of us, if we every single day chant 16 rounds, follow 4 relative principles, 24/7 remain Krishna conscious, Prabhupada has promised, you'll surely go back home, back to Godhead. Abhi apna kaam hai, Hari bol. Bolna hai abhi, Hari Hari. We have to chant Hare Krishna. We have to do the devotional service. Yes, we have to. So in this way, Lord looked at the trees and then he remembered, oh my great devotee Nārada, he has blessed these two trees. Two great demigods to become trees in this courtyard. And he had told that at the end of certain number of years, how many years? 100 celestial years. They'll get my audience and now is the time. And our acharyas say, Krishna was thinking, my devotee has gone inside the kitchen to do service. Who was gone in the kitchen? Krishna. So he was thinking, how I, as Lord, can stay here? Even I should do some service. And that's the time he started crawling. Crawling. Finally, he came to the two trees. And then the two trees were there. He crossed in between the trees. But then the ukhal, it got stuck. The wooden grinding mortar got stuck. And that was the time when Krishna pulled a little bit and the trees fell. So here comes the question our acharyas ask. Who made the trees fall? Because once the trees fell, huge effulgent personalities came out. Two effulgent personalities. Who are they? Nalakuver and Manigriv. Two effulgent personalities came. And when these two effulgent personalities came, the question acharyas ask is that who actually delivered Nalakuver and Manigriv? Option A, Krishna. Option B, the wooden grinding mortar.
Wooden, because wooden has more strength.
Okay, wooden has more strength. I agree with you. Yes. And our acharyas say, actually it's wooden grinding mortar. And you know what they say? That person, because see, when the Lord was crawling, the wooden grinding mortar was rolling behind the Lord. Yes. So our acharyas say, that person who walks behind the Lord, surrendering onto Him, always connected to the Lord, gets the power to deliver anyone and everyone in this world. And that's how when a sadhaka becomes a pure devotee, always connected to the Lord, like the wooden grinding mortar was connected to Krishna, and always following in the footsteps of the Lord by implementing the teachings given by the Lord and His followers, he becomes empowered to deliver anyone and everyone. And I think we have a very wonderful example. A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. They can see. He is that great instrument. So in this way, finally these two personalities came out. And there's long past time, but I'm cutting it short. They looked at the Lord. They were very, very happy. And they started offering prayers. Their prayers are very wonderful. You all can go through it. I'll just cover 2 verses. Krishna Krishna Mahayogim.
Krishna Krishna Mahayogim.
Tvam Adyah Purushah Parah. Vyakta Vyaktam Idam Vishwam. Rupam Te Brahmana Viduhu. Krishna Krishna. They're saying Krishna Krishna. So they started doing Kirtan first. Kirtan of the holy name. Krishna Krishna. And they started glorifying. So first they chanted the holy names and then they started chanting the qualities or glorifying the qualities of the Lord. And they're saying that you're Mahayogi, you're a great mystic. You are Adi Purusha. You are Sarvakarana Karanam. We offer our obeisances unto you. And they went on to say that even when you come as a fish, as a tortoise, as a boar, you're not an ordinary one. You're the greatest in that particular form also. And you can imagine, take any of these forms. Take tortoise for that example. The Kurma avatar. You can imagine, the Kurma avatar huge. And on that there is Mandara Parvat. And then both the sides, churning is going on. The rope is pulled. Vasuki is pulled on both the sides. One side Devtas, one side Asuras. And at that time, and by the way, see, when you uproot a mountain, it's not going to be plain below, no? Yes. There will be huge stones, sharp stones. Now that is there on the tortoise. That is there on the Kurma, back of the Kurma Dev. And then they are churning. And that is moving. And it is described, Kurma Dev, he felt that someone is caressing him. Someone is itching him. And Kurma Dev went off to sleep. This is called as power of Lord. When someone says, I'm God, just take one stone and rub on his back. पता चलेगा कितना भगवान है ये. Just see कि वो अभी सोएगा कि रोएगा. So in this way, he's saying they're glorifying that you're not ordinary. People might consider you to be an ordinary human being. A chota sa bachcha, na, imagine. Just Damodar pastime has taken place. Small boy. People might think you're ordinary, but oh Lord, you're not ordinary. And they went on to glorify. Now they're asking for benediction. And look at their benediction. Vani gunanu kathane Shravanau kathayam Hastau cha karma sumanas Tava padayornaha Smrityam shiras tava nivas Jagat praname Drishti satam darshanestu Bhavattanona. Now finally they are saying, oh Lord, please bless us. One very amazing thing is when the trees fell and the personalities came out, they were very, very effulgent. When you commit sin, you cannot be effulgent. Then how these people became effulgent? Okay, austerity. Okay, they are seeing the pastimes of the Lord. You say something? Okay, they are seeing Krishna. They are in Dham. They are doing all the possible angas of devotional service, staying in Dham. They are getting darshan of the Lord. They are hearing the glories of the Lord. And more importantly here, Lord has personally touched them many, many times. And they're fully purified. And when someone is fully purified, naturally the person is very, very effulgent. Very, very effulgent. In fact, Prabhupada disciples, they share that whenever they would go to take darshan of Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada would look extremely effulgent, it seems. Different aura altogether, different effulgence coming from the body of Srila Prabhupada. Even during those times, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he shares, even during those times when Prabhupada was on the bed, his full body is paralyzed. He was only able to speak at that time. In that also he was dictating purpose to 10th canto, 14th chapter, Bhagavatam. Even during that time, his body used to be very fragrant and he used to be very, very effulgent. This is by the touch of the Supreme Lord. This is by the connection with the Supreme Lord. And this is what happened. And now when they have come out with that purified heart, they are begging the Lord. What are they begging? This is what we also should beg. Vani gunanu kathane. Oh Lord, please empower us. Please bless us so that we can use our Vani in your glorification. Shravanau kathayam. Please bless us so that we can always hear your glories, O Lord. Hastau cha karmasu. Please empower us so that we can use our hands always in your service. Manastava padayornaha. Please empower us so that our minds are always engaged, thinking about you. Smrityam shiras. Okay, shiras tava nivasa jagat praname. Oh Lord, please empower us so that our head bows down in front of you always. Is it easy to pay obeisances to the Lord? Dandavat karna asan hi hai na? But when you have back pain, you cannot. Yes. And along with that, when there is pain in the head because of the pride, you cannot. In both the cases, it's not possible. Max, when people come, since I stay in the temple, I get a lot of people coming. Max they can do is this and it'll... Yes. And obviously, this is also there. This is always there. And then, Drishti satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. Oh Lord, we want to see, we want to always take you. Please empower us so that we can take darshan of your beautiful form and your devotees who are non-different from you. So in this way, they begged the Lord. And this is what we also have to beg, to be always engaged in Lord's service. Now just imagine Krishna's situation. Small boy, they're offering prayer. Now Krishna also has to reciprocate. So Krishna spoke. Tad gacchata mat paramao nala kuvera sadhanam sajñato mai bhavo vam ipsitaha paramo bhavaha. First thing Lord is saying is, Tad gacchatam, abhi jao aap log. All my friends are looking at me. You go now, both of you go. And then they are saying, Lord is saying, since you desire to be always absorbed in my devotional service, mai bhavoyam, your desire to develop love and affection for me will be fulfilled. And now you'll never fall from that platform. Isn't that a wonderful benediction? Krishna has blessed them. So in this way, we see Nalakuver and Manigriv, they both circumambulated of the Lord and they went. Now tell me, don't you think Nalakuver and Manigriv, they will be the best kathakars in the entire creation because they have watched the entire pastime of the Lord. They'll go around in all the three planetary systems and will glorify. And that's what Nalakuver and Manigriv continued doing. That's how they became pure devotees of the Lord. And therefore, Nalakuver and Manigriv, they have taken a place in 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. In second last verse of Damodar Ashtakam, that is the glory of Nalakuver and Manigriv. And all this glory came into picture because of one great personality who was Nārada Muni. His blessing was displayed as curse. And in this way, by the mercy of a sadhu, one can get association of Supreme Lord. Without sadhu, one can never attain the lotus feet of the Lord, not possible. For us, that sadhu is Prabhupada. We have to hold the lotus feet of Prabhupada, work for his pleasure. And when he curses or blesses us, anything, that will take us closer to the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai.